and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Shariann.
So today we're talking about unexpected interruptions and the way they really just rock your entire system, which very, very much has to do with the cancer experience. So before we jump in, let's get grounded. Shariann, you start today.
So physically, I am a 3.5, emotionally, 3.8, spirit 4, and hope is 4.6. My word is discombobulated.
Okay, physically, I am a 4.4. Emotionally, I am a 4.5. Spirit is a 4.65 and hope is a 4.6. And my word is shielding. All right,
Okay.
let's go with
It
your
feels like,
discombobulated.
yeah, it just feels like an off day. I mean, I knew it was going to be a busy day today, and I kind of had in my mind exactly, how it was going to flow, what I needed to get done. And then I get this call and it's like, stop the presses. I'm coming over now. And I'm like, what? So it's when, it's not a bomb is dropped in your world, but it's like you get thrown off your axle, it's like I'm heading in a certain direction and it's like, "Ah!" and that's what discombobulated feels like to me. It's like I still haven't quite got my bearings. It's like that happened, it's done, and I'm feeling that the residual energy from it.
Yeah, yeah. And that can be an event that is big and ongoing and ongoingly impactful or small. And even if it's small, you don't have to diminish like how impactful it is. Like it's a little bomb is still a bomb, you know? It's still causing chaos and it's unexpected and it's hard. It's hard. You can't prepare for it at all. There is no preparation that is possible, which is kind of good and bad. Like we really got to be looking on the bright side if we want to say what's good about it really. Like to me the bright side is all right, I was able to handle it how it needs to be handled, and now I can move forward and take care of myself, knowing that, there's shrapnel everywhere. The downside is it derails you, and it absolutely sends you down a different track. And even if you're able to get right back on track, this is very cancer journey related. Even if you get back on track and you're moving forward and, you're ringing the bell and you're gonna live, there's still the residual, the rebounding, the vibrational energy that you're still holding just to get through what just happened.
Yeah, so many emotions swirling, right? There's the shock. It's like, okay, I have to switch gears. So it's like this discombobulation. And then there's like kind of anger. It's like, wait a minute. Well, I didn't ask for this. Well, what's this coming into my life? And then it's like, well, it's here. I have to deal with it, or I don't have to deal with it. And then there's like negative ego. I should act this way if I'm a good person. Oh my goodness, so many emotions. And then it's like when it's done, it's like, okay, that's done. And now it's like trying to find yourself again. It's like, where was I? Where was I going? And so then there's this kind of feeling of overwhelm, which is like, now I'm really behind. And how am I going to get everything done? And then quickly prioritize, prioritize. So it's like this massive bubble that's coming
Your bauble is discombobbled.
in.
So if I'm going the coaching route here, and there's a lot here, right? Like I thank you for sharing all of the muchness that is here. There's so much. There's so many different directions that your brain is going. I would never expect you to just say, that's the one that I need to focus on and turn the rest off because they're all present right now. And it's all overwhelming. Like there's clearly this frenetic energy to it.
Yeah.
That's very palpable. And because you explained all of it, where do you want to go?
That's such a good question. And actually kind of a grounding question. It kind of takes like nowhere. Does that make sense? I don't want to go anywhere. It's like
Hmm.
I just got really shooken up. It's a word, right? Shooken, shaken.
Shaken. It's okay.
Good. And so it's like I need a moment, a really big pause to find myself again. I cannot jump into action. This is really good situation to kind of like just come back to self and slow down, because you can't jump in and be completely present or be of sound mind or just to like think that you can just continue. It's like, oh, that happened. Okay, now I'll keep on going. It's that you can try, but I think that a lot of the other emotions will come seeping in and going, no, 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 pay attention to me and pay attention to me. So it's just like, where's Shariann?
Yeah, I'm hearing it's almost like that experience, that chaos, like stole energy that you had to, continue. It's like you had this bowl of energy and you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to separate it throughout the day. I know kind of where it's going to go and what's important and what needs all the energy. But then this thing landed and it's like, I had to take all your energy. And you're like, okay, now I have like, if we're talking like video games and it's your little hearts or something like that, right? Like you had 5 hearts. You thought you had 5 hearts throughout the day. Now you only have two. And you're like, and it's only the afternoon. And
Right.
I'm down to 2 hearts. Like, what am I supposed to do now? You need to recharge. You need
Yes.
space. And I'm so like proud of you for saying I need to slow down because that is just typically not your first response. Even though I
No,
know
it's
you
not.
know that's what you need often, especially in the recent past. But this is a really really great moment to celebrate that you're noticing and you seem excited to slow down.
Well, okay, it's because you're holding the space. You said, let's go into coach mode. And all of a sudden there was this container here that was holding me. And then the question of what I want, basically, in the words that you said. And it was like, oh, that thing. What do I want? Not what I have to do or who I owe things to or what's my responsibility. And that's really true on a cancer journey too, because we don't drop our responsibilities when we're on the cancer journey. Actually, we still take care of everybody else. When they say, how are you? We have to like ascertain really, can I tell them the truth? Or do I just smile and say, oh, I'm good, I got it?
Right,
So there's that work there and taking care of somebody else where you created the space that we do in coaching that said, it's for you. Let's just have this moment instead of rushing to like, what do you want to do about this? Oh my God, that would have sent me back into my head. It was like, what do you need? What do you want?
right.
I was like,
And claiming coach mode for me too was more so the recognition of like, of course, naturally my brain is also going, how can I help? What do you want to do? But being a coach, you're self managing to not ask those questions because it's not about what can you do to get out of that feeling because that feeling's still going to be there. But it's like, what does your being really need? Because first of all, it's not right for me to tell you where to go. I don't know where. I can sense and I can explore, but I can also just ask where you want to go. Because if
right.
I had chosen anger or overwhelmed responsibilities or like any of the other things, the bobble, like feeling it in your body even, like I could have gone to any of those, but instead I just asked what you wanted and I would not have told you, okay, I think you need to slow down. That's not my place,
Because I
nor would I ever
probably would
say
have
that.
fought you.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you needed to figure out for yourself that slowing down is what you really need
Yeah.
because you need clarity. You need a moment to recharge. Yeah. How does that feel now? Even just knowing that you need to slow down.
And it feels good. I say that hesitantly because when you slow down, and I think I'm pretty sure, almost positive, that this is why people don't want to slow down, is you can really feel all of the emotions coming in. And there's sadness when something takes you off your path because you're like so committed to that. It's like, okay, here I go. And then something stops you and just almost it feels a little bit like taking freedom away. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't choose this, but now I have to deal with it. And in cancer, that often feels like, wait, I didn't choose this path. So I can feel that sorrow of being or sadness of like I'm trying to see if I can access tears in the quiet. And I know people will hate it. They always apologize. I'm sorry, I'm crying or I'm going to cry. And it's like, no, but I can't even like there's such a block to it that it's like, ooh, I think that there is a desire to release some of that sadness
Yeah. What do you think is blocking it?
ahead.
Tell me more.
Mm. It's a lot of negative ego speak, like, oh, we don't have time for this. Um, in the same vein as time, it's a waste of time. It's that whole thing of, no, we've got you, you're fine. But really, it's like, not that it would even take me very long. I'm still trying to access it. It would be such a great release.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of negative ego, yes, but also like more underlying anger that is really likely rage.
Mm,
Because I think that some of this negative ego voice that's coming up too, not just around the sadness that like it's like why can't you do it, right? It's also like, okay, maybe we're still a little on fire from everything that just happened, and so there's some negative ego about like it didn't have to be like that. Does that feel true?
it's the freedom part. Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to be like that. I didn't welcome it in. It just showed up. And so it felt like I guess it's too strong a word, but an assault.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, and just kind of keep relating it to the cancer journey. It feels like an assault. It's like, wait a minute. I didn't ask for you to come and do this to my life, to blow it up. So, and we don't let ourselves feel the rage. So I'm really, it's insightful that you felt that, and that the sadness is kind of like sitting on top of the rage.
Mm. Not underneath.
So the sadness is on top of the rage so that the rage can't come out. So it's like,
Mm.
okay, let's be sad because there's a little more permission to be sad. Mm. But it's so hard for me to access the tears, right? So it's like, oh, see, we can't do any of this.
Yeah, that
So
was
it's
great clarity. Because I was thinking too that like maybe it was the rage that was covering the sadness. Like I really want to cry, but I can't get there because of the rage. But it's so interesting to see it the other way because, like you said, sadness is so much. It's like it's okay to be sad. It's like not okay to be angry. Generally, right? Sometimes it's the
Mhm,
narrative, especially culturally, that we have.
right.
I'm not going to make you process your rage here, but if we were in a session, I would, have more space to do that. But thanks for being vulnerable and going into that a little bit more.
Thank you for taking me there. I mean, there's a calm, just knowing that if not that I want to bookmark it, that there's space for this to happen today.
Hmm. And it's also like it's like when you're angry and all you see is red. It's like you can't even imagine a space outside because we are not naturally like our natural processing system is to have emotion. Like that's the human processing system for
Right,
getting through like triggering moments and things that just happen, situations. We respond to them and we process them with emotions. But we're in such a culture that is like, shh, don't say anything. You like just keep it bottles inside and you'll be okay. Present your best foot forward always, that we don't give people permission to have their emotions, so then they don't process at all. So we often forget because we're culturally told, nope, keep it inside and keep it contained,
right,
and then you're like stuck and contracted or constricted. So when you do get a safe space to let go, especially when you're reminded that that space exists, it's like, oh, right, there's hope.
right, right. And then there's space to be actually be instead of do. I very much was in the doing the doing mode this morning because I have a deadline and that deadline is real. I literally have to get onto a plane. So it's like, oh, go, well, you can't push this any further. So all of this has to be done. And I was so responsible and committed to it that so okay, now I'm leaning into, and the universe said too much because I could feel that at that edge of burnout
Mm-hmm.
pushing through. So
It's the controlling piece again, is it not?
yes, there's that edge. Control, control, control. And then the emotions are out when I can't, right?
Yeah.
Oh, like
Your
now
energy
I'm
has shifted
being
so much.
I'm being kind and gentle to myself instead of um that I was going to say martyr. Could be martyr, but it's more like, the prison guard.
Yeah. So I'm already noticing a shift, but I want you to say out loud, like, how are you feeling in recognition of being nice to yourself?
The word trust came up. It's like, let's just trust that it's all going to work out just fine. That you don't have to push because when I'm not controlled. I'm controlling. I hold, and it's like this tightness.
Yeah.
So I think things are easier when we trust and we flow. I feel like the discombobulation kind of like falling aside. It's more like, okay, you got this. Like I'm becoming my own champion right now.
Yeah, yeah. I feel you owning that energy a lot more, and I see you softening, like physically softening. Like even your
Phew.
posture and the leaning forward, the like cadence of your voice, like to me it's a very palpable shift, which by the way, anyone with the coaching out there, it's not always palpable in the moment during a session. Sometimes it's between sessions, but having the session itself starts to be the impetus for any sort of shift. Um, so it's really great to see you have this shift right now.
Yay.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it feels better because you're not acting.
No, no, I'm in the moment. I'm being real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I was a little acting in the beginning because I was trying to contain it. So it was like, I can't. But no, no, this is me.
Right, because if we actually were being honest and not acting, we're acting all the time, and it's not necessarily always a bad thing, but sometimes it's not just being like a movie star actor, it's sometimes just pretending that you're okay. That's actually people
Mm,
pleasing is acting a lot of
hmm
times because you're not doing it in service of yourself. If you and and it benefits you in some ways, I get that, but in other ways it detracts. Like if you came on and you're like, I am enraged, I don't even want to do this, and I don't want to talk about it, and I'm angry at everyone. It's like, well, like, well, we didn't want to do that, not we. You didn't really want to do that in the beginning, and it didn't feel like it served the purpose of this space. Anyone who's watching, myself who's listening, like there was a certain amount of permission to talk about it, but not to go the full screaming, raging.
And
Yeah.
I can after this. But I'm like, somehow it's kind of dissipated. And not that I'm pushing it down, just I think I'm taking that pause to really look at it where if it were not for this space right now, I would have just been like, okay. And then, you know how you do things with this like energy, this fervor? And now I'm going to do the next thing. That's probably how I would have been.
Yeah.
And in that way, try and express the rage to nobody, but just to get it out. But I don't, that feels mean to me.
The face you made was just really funny. It feels,
Yeah.
but and that's fair because it almost feels like punishment for yourself a little bit. I mean, even just the piece we say this, there's magic in the telling. So being able to say it out loud and have someone be curious about where it is from like a very, very safe relationship, not just a safe space, it really does open up the door to be like, oh, this matters. It's like a little tickle. It's like, actually, I get to say this. This matters. Even if you said assault earlier and you're like, oh, I think this is a too strong word, but it felt right in that moment with how it felt. in 7 hours from now, you might be like, whoa, that was extreme. But that's how you felt in the moment when it happened.
Right.
And I actually think that even just saying that had such a big impact for you to be able to let it go because you got to
Yes.
say it with the fervor, with the energy, with the anger that was behind it. It was an angry, fueled word, but it wasn't hurting you. It wasn't hurting me. It wasn't hurting the situation. But you got to get some of that energy out by using a word that you would consider more extreme.
Yes. Yes. I mean, truly, it was taking the time to just be with me and allow me to not talk about the story, but talk about me in the moment. That's what was important. I know we get caught up in the story and people will go on and on and on and tell the story. And you'll realize sometimes that, and now I'm back to Sherry and the coach mode, that we realize that they keep repeating the same story. But if we can't get underneath the story to how they're feeling, how they're impacted, what's really going on, that story will just keep flowing and playing in their mind and coming out of their mouth versus this feeling that I had and saying things like assault or all the other words that I said. It was like, oh, that was true in that moment. Didn't say it to hurt anybody, just needed to let that out, to say it, to see it come out of me. It's like, oh, well, that's what's dancing around inside that I don't want.
Yeah. Oh, literally my mind too. I said, it's like you're dancing around, right? If you have to keep telling the story, you're dancing around the feelings that are going into it because you're not saying what needs to be said. Like your whole being probably had the word assault in it, and you're like, oh, I just need to get it out. And the minute you got it out, it was like, oh, now I can let that go. Just the feeling that it had for me, I can start letting it go and have
Yeah.
recognition that it felt that negatively impactful. Yeah.
And for you or my coach or whoever's creating this lovely space for me to just be with me to reflect that back and I can go, oh yeah. Or what does that word feel like when you say it? Or where is that in my body? Where is that living? It's yeah, that's so helpful. So,
Yeah.
so, so helpful. And a place that we're not always afforded or given when we're on a cancer journey, because again, back to I'm taking care of everybody else.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, when you're on a cancer journey, you feel like you can't even say, I have cancer and I'm scared to die, which are very, very, very common thoughts that go through a cancer patient or a thriver or, a survivor scared that it's going to come back or a caregiver scared about how it impacts their loved one, but also their own lives. Like those things come up in those positions, in those roles. And so to continue to neglect them is a disservice to yourself.
Right.
What's your takeaway, Shariann?
Oh, it's very clear that having a space, a person, a place where I get to just be me in the moment, and they're listening to me, and they're not trying to fix me. They're just exploring, but they're also holding me in the space versus the doing so that I can, kind of wrestle around with all that's here to figure out this is what's going on and this is what I need. And that's super duper important. And that's why we created the Cancer Journey Institute. That's why we created Cancer Journey Coaches so that people going on or being on a cancer journey and after can have this. I mean, it's like I am a master coach and I can't do this for myself. It is not a solo gig. You need somebody to, we call it powerfully listen and ask questions, powerful questions back. But because I don't see or hear what I'm saying sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's my takeaway. And I'm sure I could say more, but that's a good pause there. And my physical is 3.8, emotional 4.2, spirit 4.3, hope 4.6, and my word is calmer.
Okay, my takeaway. My takeaway is that I hear all the time, especially of our coaches in training, like language matters, the words you use matter. And I completely agree. And I see it, especially in a coaching interaction and in just the human experience, we need spaces where we can say things wrong. We need spaces where we can say things that don't have to define every piece of who we are because we are emotional beings and we need to get things out without always feeling like everything we say is tied to who we are at our core. Like to figure out who you are at your core, you're going to have to get some things wrong, and you're also going to have to experience your emotions in a high and low state. You know, you're going to have to find really great ways to process, and language and the words you choose and saying them out loud become a big part of that. Being able to say something out loud clearly, and just, the bit of example we have here is can be such a huge release, especially when you realize maybe later, like, that felt true then. It doesn't have to feel true now. But we can't have that dialogue with ourselves because that's not a dialogue, like just exactly as you said. And so when unexpected interruptions, unexpected turns of your life happen, they are going to suck up a ton of your energy. They just are. You're gonna like and just feel like you're holding. And until you have a place to really let go of that, you will continue holding and depleting yourself. So I just think it's so extremely important, especially when you're on a cancer journey and like your life is thrust in your face and you feel like you need to be on all the time. It's even more important to have someone who walks this journey with you because it's impossible to do it alone and feel whole throughout it because you don't need to walk through it feeling broken and alone. You can walk through it but you like by yourself, but you will feel lonely and
Yeah.
just probably very misunderstood. It's just so much harder to do it alone. And there are way too many people out there who have been through cancer experiences who are happy to support you on your journey. And, all of our coaches have been through cancer experiences of their own in one way or another. And that's why we think that they're really, really great resources, as well as going through our own rigorous training. We hold a very high standard for our coaches to be able to work with this community and really serve in a way that meets people exactly where they are. So that's my takeaway. And then my PESH is physically, I am a 4.5, emotionally a 4.7, spirit is a 4.65, and hope is a 4.65. And my word is rooted.
Mm.
Thank you so much for joining us today and being along for little bits of coaching moments in there because we never know what's going to come up. So I'd love to kind of give a bit of an example when we can. So we'll be back next week with a new episode.
Have a lovely rest of your day. And remember, you're so much more powerful than you realize.